In this video we're going to be touring the LeGrande, Kentucky route that I built in Trainz. We're going to be driving a bus and basically riding the streets in the city, and I have some trains designed to come out of a portal, and we're going to see if that works right as well. Can someone who lives in this town please explain to me how anyone makes it through any of these intersections without getting into a car accident? I mean, my goodness, you can't even see down the street because the buildings are in the way. How do you know there's a car coming on the road you're crossing? I can't see down the right side of the road because the house is in the way. I guess I just have to hope there's no car coming down that way. Oops. Wow, this intersection is completely flawed. I mean, this railroad crossing isn't very bus friendly. I can't see down the tracks on the right side because the house is in the way. There's no way for me to know there's a train coming from that direction. can't get this bus to turn right because the attachment point for the cab is too far forward. In the finished product of this route, I'll probably just use a bus that's available on the download station to solve that problem. Hopefully that bus can make 90-degree turns without derailing. This railroad crossing isn't very bus friendly either. There's not enough space on this side if I was traveling in the opposite direction for me to be able to get the bus all the way across the tracks by the time I got to the stop sign. In general, a real bus should avoid that kind of railroad crossing. Anyway, let's see what's going on with these portals, because I haven't seen a train coming through here in a while. Well, it looks like this train derailed and coming out the portal. Wow, this is weird. It looks like while one train was coming out of the portal, it crashed into another train that was going across the switch, and then caused that train to derail, and now it's just sitting there with nothing, with no consists, no locomotive, no driver. Ugh. There's another train coming out of the portal behind it, but he's probably going to get stuck because they don't couple up to other trains that are traveling down the track, generally. In fact, usually if there's another train on the track, it'll just stop after it comes out of the portal and do nothing. And there's not much I can do to stop that, aside for taking control of the train myself. I wish there was a way to get rid of trains that derail when coming out of the portal so that they won't clog up the main line. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this train derailed while coming out of the portal. That's what seems to be happening a lot these days. It's weird. That usually only happens with low-detailed train cars, but I'm having this problem with high-detailed train cars as well. It could be that portals are obsolete and I need to find another thing to replace them with. Anyway, let's get this auto-wreck train out of the way. I'm just going to take control of this train and have them push the auto-wreck train. Okay, not sure why he won't move. The track is clear all the way to its next destination. Oh, the switch wasn't set. Oh, that didn't change anything either. Oh well, I guess I have to take care of this train completely then. Now move. Don't make me have to do this myself. If I have to take control of these trains, that kind of defeats the purpose, because they're supposed to be traveling down the track automatically while we explore the route. Okay. Now what to do about this train? There's not really much I can do about it. In any case, let's just enjoy this railroad crossing for now. I'll try to find a fix for that later. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at this and see what happens to these trains when they come out the portal, so that I can see what I can do to fix it, if anything. Well, the first train is likely coming out of the portal too early, and that's probably what caused it to crash into that auto rack train and cause all those problems earlier. So the auto rack train either has to depart earlier or get taken off the route entirely. That's also an option. Or the first train has to be programmed to come out of the portal later. wow, big surprise, the train derails and coming out the portal again. I totally did not see that coming. Okay, there needs to be a rule that when the train derails, it stops producing the rest of the conceits, so that it won't end up with a stranded train that can't go anywhere. This is a huge flaw, and it's making this rig really frustrating to operate. Can we please update these riddles and make it so that if the train derails, it stops producing the rest of it? Or just make it so that they stop derailing entirely. That would also be a good option. This train isn't going to be able to go anywhere because there's no driver and therefore no possible means of it going anywhere. Not only that, but they're freight cars. They don't have an engine, so they can't go anywhere anyway, even if they had a driver. Okay, so this train derailed coming out of the portal. As a result, these locomotives were not given a driver, so they just kept traveling in the forward direction, ignoring everything, including the switch that wasn't set for them. Ran right into the other train, causing the first locomotive and all these auto-rack cars to derail. And then the locomotives that were left just accelerated into the back of the auto-rack train, or what was left of it, and coupled into it, creating a longer conceit. Okay, if it sounds like I'm frustrated, it's because I am. This game is really frustrating me right now. Why would it just ignore that the switch isn't set for it? It's still ignoring that the switch isn't set for it. Now what am I supposed to do about these train cars? This is a huge flaw in the design. These cars are just stuck in the middle of the line with nowhere to go, blocking up the main line. To be fair, this glitch didn't happen when the portals were first being used in the game. I had no problem like this with the portals on Trainz 2004 or 2006, or even Trainz 2012. It's only on Trainz A New Era that these glitches started happening, and again in Trainz 2019. I'm guessing they don't have any plans on fixing this glitch anytime soon. They're just gonna let it happen. My goodness, how can they expect us to keep purchasing these games if they're completely going to ignore these glitches? To be fair, I purchased it anyway, but I didn't think I was gonna have this kind of issue with it. Every attempt I've made to stop the trains from derailing when coming out of the portal has failed. Either way, I set up the first train to leave a little bit quicker, so maybe it won't end up in this train's path, causing a derailment like last time. Let's see if the train even comes out of the portal correctly. Okay, so the first train made it all the way across the junction, without being sideswiped by the other train. So that's one problem taken care of. Man, you think the route's ready to be uploaded to the download station and you get a bunch of problems that have to be fixed. Okay, let's see how this train comes out of the portal. This is one that hasn't been tested yet. What the? It just launched itself backwards. I don't understand. What? Okay, it derailed, but why? None of this makes sense anymore. Now what? Okay. Why did these cars derail? They weren't even in the portal. Okay, apparently making it out of the portal alive isn't enough. It can just spontaneously derail on any section of track it wants to. Just for the fun of it, apparently. The rest of the cars are on the bottom of the portal derailed. At least they'll be taken out of the map automatically since they derailed. Are there any cars that are missing a locomotive? Okay, the rest of the train at least has a locomotive. Man, this is really frustrating. Why did the train just spontaneously launch itself backwards? I just don't understand that. That's one glitch I've never had to deal with before. It's like every time I try to use these portals, I find another glitch somehow. Okay, this time I am going to win against this portal. I have designed it so that every single consist has a locomotive in the middle and the rear of every train, so that if the train derails while coming out of the portal, the rest of the train will have a locomotive that can continue with the messages. Or at least that's the theory. Okay, so it's producing a train. I designed this one to have a locomotive at the end of the consist to help prevent it from rolling backwards for whatever reason that happened when coming out of the portal, and that hopefully will fix this. Okay, here comes the locomotive at the end of consist, hopefully here to save the day and prevent the train from rolling backwards and spontaneously derailing. Let's see if I solve the problem here. What the heck? Okay, I'm trying really hard not to swear since this is supposed to be a kid-friendly channel, but oh my goodness, why? Look at the Fred. It got detached from the locomotive and now it's just rolling backwards, hovering over the tracks. Ugh, this is why though? What happened? I don't understand. Okay, the middle of the train spontaneously derailed again. The front of the train is still moving. Okay, so I guess I should just expect the middle of the train to spontaneously derail when coming out of the portal now, as well as whatever is at the rear end of the train. I wish I knew why the train rolled backwards as soon as it came out of the portal. And why the fact that the locomotive was there to stop it caused the entire train to derail. Why does the middle of the train keep derailing? Why? Okay, it looks like there's nothing you can do to stop this from derailing. It's just an inevitability that the middle of the train is just gonna vanish into thin air when the train comes out of the portal. and the rest of the train is just going to launch itself backwards spontaneously. And if you put a locomotive in the back of the train to try to stop it from launching itself backwards, it's just going to derail. You can't win at this. Okay, I'm going to try to find something to do about those trains that keep rolling backwards. I have this really steep, impossibly steep downhill slope. I'm going to have the switch set up towards this slope so that if a train derails, it'll just roll onto this siding and then roll down the hill into oblivion, and it'll be out of the way of the main line. And the switch is automatically going to be set this way so it automatically rolls toward that siding if it derails. Or at least that's the theory. I'm not sure how the train's going to react to a switch not being set for it in front of the portal. Will it try to set the switch on its own and then set it back when it finishes, or will it just ignore the switch and derail? I don't really know what's going to happen. It's just a theory at this point, or actually a hypothesis, really. Okay, so I'm going to make this track a slope so that if a train derails, it'll automatically roll backwards toward that siding, rather than being stuck at the same portion on the line. I'm going to try to make the hill steep enough so that there's no doubt that the train will roll backwards and onto that siding. Okay, the train's about to come out of the portal. The switch is set toward the siding. Let's see what it does. Okay, it does not set the switch, and instead it derails. Okay, I guess there really is nothing you can do to stop the derailment from happening. I actually seem to have made it worse with this plan. Let's see what it does about the rest of the train. Okay, so locomotives can't go over a switch that's not set for them, but train cars can apparently. I guess that's the logic that this game works with. Even though in real life the switch wasn't set for it. Okay, never mind, these derail too. Okay, maybe it depends on the length of the train car then. Long cars derail, short cars don't. Or medium-sized cars, because these aren't really that short either. Well, let's see what happens to the train cars that are left. Are they going to roll into the siding, or are they just going to get stuck there? Man, this game's logic doesn't make sense to me sometimes. In real life, if a switch wasn't set for a train, it would just push the points out of the way. It wouldn't necessarily derail because of it. I mean, it can cause a derailment, but it depends on the type of switch. Anyway, let's see if this plan at least half works. The switch is set for the downhill slope. Okay, they're taking the downhill slope. Uh-oh, there's more cars coming. Okay, well, those get pushed out of the way so that more trains can come out the portal. So that part of the plan is fixed. But can't do anything about this, because if the switch isn't set for them, they're just going to derail. So this plan has to be kicked out the window. Okay, I've set this portal up to consume trains as well. If I'm lucky, the trains will just roll backwards into the portal, and then the portal will consume them. But with my luck with portals on this game, I doubt that's going to happen. It's probably just going to find some other ridiculous means by which to spontaneously derail. Re-elect Trump in the 2020 election. That's what I plan to do at least. Do my eyes deceive me? Am I about to see a train actually come out of this portal without derailing? Well, it didn't spontaneously launch itself backwards. The middle of the train didn't spontaneously disappear off the face of the earth for no reason. The rear locomotive didn't derail for no reason. The entire train actually made it out the portal this time. Still a little close behind this train though. I can ignore that for now though. Okay, it looks like I have a few more problems to attend to. Okay, what's this train's problem? Ah, great. Okay, it looks like if the portal a train has been assigned to is busy consuming a train, it won't even attempt to drive to it. And it'll just get stuck not knowing what to do. So I need to make sure that the portal is not in use at the time a train's trying to go inside it. Or it'll just clog up the main line. On top of that, it's looking like if a train is going into a portal while it's crossing a railroad crossing, it'll cause the crossing to malfunction and the gates won't